For all you elk hunters out there, chasing turkeys is basically the same thing. I know the reaction you just gave me, but don't knock it till you try it, and don't try it without OnX. The Hunt app will not only help you find new areas on public ground, but I use it to find out landowner info to get permission on private ground that I see birds on as well. OnX Hunt has a special offer for you. Use code CAL to receive 20% off your membership at onxmaps.com/hunt and find more birds this spring.
There's nothing like snook hook sets at dawn or catching a tarpon in the moonlight. Find your next fishing trip made easy on fishingbooker.com and experience the magic of the Sunshine State or any other destination on your fishing bucket list. Book a blue water adventure in search of sailfish or go snapper fishing with the kids. With over 6,000 captains and trips to choose from, planning your next one just got a whole lot easier. Download the Fishing Booker app on the Google Play or App Store, or visit them online at fishingbooker.com to book your trip today. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember the old ceremonial hunting tradition of eating the heart out of the first animal you kill. Meat from those organs are among the most nutrient-rich foods on the planet. You can get those same benefits your ancestors craved via convenient daily capsules from Heart and Soil. Find out more at heartandsoil.co. And remember, use code MeatEater for 10% off your purchase.
This is day 3, technically day 3 of the road trip here, and we're still trying to track down a couple of our block management participants. We're starting to lose steam here because the haying season, the haying window, they just got this rain, and then the rain let up, so everybody's out haying. And I think between the haying activity and the god-awful robocalling activity that everybody's subjected to these days, we're fighting an uphill battle in regards to getting a hold of folks. So we're going to have to go do some door knocking if this phone call doesn't work out.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please hang up and redial the number, including the area code.
All right, we are just west, or just east of Havre, Montana, dropping off thank yous for the Montana Block Management Program. And how long have you been in the Block Management Program?
I think since in the 80s.
So that's a long time.
Yeah.
And
yes.
What's the benefit of the program to you?
Well, I like it because the hunters have to sign in. We know what's going on. And then we've had a lot of great hunters out. Never had any problem with any hunters. And then, of course, there's that nice check. We all like that one.
And what do you do with your check?
Oh, my goodness, pay bills. Buy hay. Feed the dogs. Feed the cows.
And is there anything you'd like to see change with the block management program?
Oh, I can't think of anything. Unless I want to make the check twice as much.
I would describe this morning as moody. I'm sitting here. Actually, we were sitting here. Snort and I are sitting here in the old Black Series camper, which I'm using for the summer. And we're staring out at Lake Elwell, Tiber Reservoir. Giant impoundment on the Marias. I'm probably 12 miles from where Lewis and Clark camped out here and eventually got run off by the Blackfeet Indians. Anyway, we're getting a little bit of rain here, and this part of the country, it's great to get on the road before the roads soak up any of that, or else sometimes your trailers get so heavy that you can't pull them anywhere because they've picked up all the clay off that road surface. What I'm attempting to do here is take all of us, all you Cal's Week in Review listeners, on a road trip. Montana's block management program is its private land, public access, program. It's incredibly important here in Montana. Over 7 million acres of access are opened up, and it's a private agreement between a landowner and the state. They do get paid. There's an incentive there, but the public is who benefits. Many of these places, many of these properties, much of this 7 million acres of upland bird hunting, fishing, whitetails, mule deer, elk, are open to the public in the simplest form you can imagine. You go up to these sign-in boxes, you fill out your paperwork, takes about 5 minutes, and basically like away I go. Away Snort and I go. Found rooster, sharptails, huns, her first Hungarian partridge, all of her first really may have been on Montana's block management. The point of our project is just an additional thank you to let these landowners know that it's not just an agreement between them and the state to let a bunch of faceless hunters come out and roam around on their property, but just like let these folks know that what they do is seriously, seriously appreciated. So, the big thank you is we went out and bought a bunch of steel chainsaws, a bunch of Visa check cards worth $200, and old Snort and I, and some friends along the way, are dropping these off to block management landowners that we randomly selected across the 7 hunting regions in Montana. And I'm going to take all of us along with us, hopefully get some interviews, talk to these folks, cover these road miles. Think of it as a general appreciation tour. So the storm's picking up here. Thanks for listening. Stick with us. Special edition, Cal's Week in Review, on the road.
From Meat Eater's World News Headquarters in Bozeman, Montana, this is Cal's Week in Review presented by Steel. Steel products are available only at authorized dealers. For more, go to steeldealers.com. Now, here's your host, Ryan Cal Callahan.
Holy cats, it's hunting season again. How'd that happen? Yes, it's hotter than Hades and fires have started popping up across the west, but in spite of the fire and the heat, August 15th is the Antelope Archery Opener here in Montana. Soon, seasons will be opening in your state. In honor of this roll of the calendar, I have decided to put together a super special access episode of Cal's Week in Review. That's right, this week we've got private land, public access, what to know before you go, and so much more. But first, I'm going to tell you about my week. And, I'm recording to you live from Hawaii right now, if you believe it or not. That's all those crickets and lizards and frogs and whatnot chirping in the background. This episode is really based around some awesome interviews that I did in the state of Montana that I've already referenced here on the Week in Review regarding Montana's block management program and the Meat Eater program that we threw together by raising a bunch of funds with your help through Teddy Roosevelt Conservation Partnership. We use those funds to buy a bunch of chainsaws and, I cover a lot of this stuff here, so I'm not going to bore you with it again. So let's get to it. What the heck is block management? Now you're going to hear some interviews with both Region 7 and Region 2 access managers for Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks.
So I'm Kendra McCloskey. I'm the Region 2 Hunting Access Manager in Western Montana. In essence, it's a program that the state of Montana works with private landowners to open up their private land to the public for hunting seasons. And it's definitely an annual partnership where we work with landowners to define how they want to see their property managed, how that fits into their ranch management goals. And we help them build a specific set of, map and rules that outlines how they want to see hunters managed on their property. And then on the flip side, during hunting season, FWP steps in and helps them manage their property. And that's, keeping sign-in boxes stocked up, collecting permission coupons, helping hunters navigate where things are, how to get there, and answering basic questions about the rules. Can you camp here? Yes or no? If you can camp here, what do you got to do?
Do you get a lot of questions from hunters in regards to block management?
Yes.
Like, how many?
A ridiculous amount, like a unsustainable amount, I would say.
Could you give me an example of like how many phone calls you'll get during, because there's an official start of the block management reservation season, and then there's an official end as well.
Yes.
There is, yeah. So, like, in that time period in a given year, how many calls will Region 2 get in regards to block management?
So when all of our maps and rules come out to the public on August 10th, that kind of starts the kickoff of all the questions rolling in. So our access resource specialist, Tyler Renfield, he fields between 2,000 and 3,000 phone calls between the beginning of August to the end of December. And some of those are just general questions. Some of them are reservations that he manages. But his every single day is filled with hunter phone calls.
My name is Travis Mache. I'm the Region 7 Access Manager for Fish, Wildlife, and Parks based out of Miles City. So we're in charge of all the private land access programs in the state, in the region, for hunting, fishing, and general recreation. So block management is the biggest access program in the state. In this region, we have 320 cooperators enrolled, about 245 block management areas. And block management is a private land hunting access program where private landowners enroll in agreements with the department to open their private property to allow free public hunting to the public hunters. So each block management agreement has its own set of rules. The landowner decides how they want permission issued, the rules, if it's walk-in, if they're going to allow driving. So each agreement can be a little bit different, tailored to that specific landowner. The department negotiates those terms with each landowner. The hunter's role mainly is to follow the rules, in my mind, because a lot of times we lose cooperators because the hunters aren't following rules. Make sure you get a map and rules page for each individual BMA because they are different. Rules are on the back, specific to that property. And just follow the rules and landowners will be happy.
So now that we know what block management is, let's hear from some of the operators as to what you should know before you go. First one is in regards to invasive grasses and weeds. The rest, pretty darn self-explanatory. For all you elk hunters out there, chasing turkeys is basically the same thing. I know the reaction you just gave me, but don't knock it till you try it, and don't try it without OnX. The Hunt app will not only help you find new areas on public ground, but I use it to find out landowner info to get permission on private ground that I see birds on as well. OnX Hunt has a special offer for you. Use code CAL to receive 20% off your membership at onxmaps.com/hunt and find more birds this spring.
Now, a lot of you guys are familiar with the old hunting tradition of eating, some organ, the heart or a chunk of liver off the first animal you kill. I had that when I was a little kid, and it was a big deal. Organ meats were always prized by frontier people who knew the importance of getting a lot of different minerals and nutrients. And as often is the case, those guys were onto something, because organs are among the most nutrient-rich foods on the planet. And you can get the same benefits your ancestors craved via convenient daily capsules from Heart and Soil, made exclusively from regeneratively raised, grass-fed, and finished cattle. Heart and Soil's unique freeze-drying process means all those important nutrients are trapped in, ensuring you experience every one of the benefits of nature's superfood in a clean, convenient, taste-free capsule. Find out more at heartandsoil.co. And make sure to use code MeatEater for 10% off your purchase. That's heartandsoil.co. Use the code MeatEater.
We've all seen plenty of gadgets and fads come and go, but here's one product that stood the test of time. Seafoam Motor Treatment. Lots of hunters and anglers know that Seafoam helps engines run better and last longer. It's really simple. When you pour it in your gas tank, Seafoam cleans harmful fuel deposits that cause engine problems. I'm talking common stuff like hard starts, rough engine performance, or lost fuel economy. Seafoam is an easy way to prevent or overcome these problems. Just pour a can in your gas tank and let it clean your fuel system. You probably know someone who has used a can of Seafoam to get their truck or boat going again. I guarantee you've listened to them because I use it, regularly. People everywhere rely on Seafoam to keep their trucks, boats, and small engines running the way they should the entire season. Help your engine run better and last longer. Pick up a can of Seafoam today at your local auto parts store or visit seafoamworks.com to learn more.
When you get people coming over from west of Montana with leafy spurge or, whatever, spotted knapweed, and it's all over their vehicles. So when they're driving around on us, they're dropping that stuff, and you can tell, that is coming from the vehicles because it's all along the ranch roads and county roads. So, that's probably the main reason why we don't let people driving in on the ranch.
If you had anything to tell hunters to do more of or do less of, what would you say?
Don't road hunt. Stop in at the property, sign in, and get out and walk. Because you're going to see more game when you get out of your vehicle and walk into that property.
Stay on the roads. When it's dry out, don't be driving all over, pastures, because it can create a fire. And if a gate is open, you open the gate, you close the gate. Just be respectful of the land, Main thing, too, if you're going to shoot a deer or something, take the whole deer. Don't just be a trophy hunter.
I hope you haven't seen any of that. People leaving meat in the field?
Well, we've had some incidences, yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah. But as a whole, everybody's really good. Really good.
Hunting season is also shipping season, and so there's a lot of trucks on the road. We also have hay trucks on the road, and it's really not safe anytime to just stop and gawk off. So that's probably kind of the main thing that we've seen is just being mindful of that and being mindful that wherever you've been, if there's been any weeds or anything, you may be packing those along with you. So just to be cautious of those things. And fire. That's probably our biggest fear, is fire.
Pretty simple, right? Stay off of muddy roads, don't park in tall grass when it's dry, be respectful of the fact that these ranchers are working. Keep the county roads clear, do your glassing from as far off the shoulder as you can get. Now, what the state is actually able to pay these landowners to participate in the program is historically not very competitive with what others are willing to pay. So let's listen to why a landowner would participate and what opportunities they could be sharing on their property.
For the most part, it's just to give the local community and Montanans an opportunity to come hunt and be able to share that with their families and promote hunting.
And what's the big opportunity on the ranch, or the thing you'd be happiest with folks taking off the place?
Elk.
And why is that?
We got a lot of them. There's a lot of elk there in the Bear Paws. Yep.
We get a lot of deer and antelope on our property. It kind of controls the management of it. Keeps the antelope. We get a lot of antelope. They do a lot of damage. Kind of helps the control, helps hunters. Where a lot of people are closed to hunting. When we first started block management, it was to help the youth hunters, as kind of how we got into the program.
Well, honestly, for our deal, we wanted to do an easement. And that's part of the requirement of the easement is the block management. And I'm not going to lie, we were nervous about doing it. We're thinking, man, that is a lot of people, armed people that we don't know coming on our property. And we're just really glad we did. It's been a good experience. It's been good for them and good for us. We've had a lot of locals that have said they have a tough time getting access anymore. When they were kids, they could kind of hunt wherever, and it's just getting harder and harder. And so it's just felt like a good thing.
What are the species that folks are coming out to your property to hunt?
Ours is mostly mule deer. We've got a few whitetail, got a few antelope, some turkeys, and we've got some grouse, but generally there's easier places to track them down than out there because you got to hike quite a ways to find them on our place. But those are probably kind of the main ones that folks are after.
This 2,000+ mile trip was incredible. A lot of Montana had gotten over 4 inches of rain in less than a week. The grass was tall, the creeks were running, the stock ponds were near full, if not over full, which, if you were out here last year, is a very different scene from what you probably saw. There was drought, followed by an onslaught of grasshoppers, which had forced many ranchers to unload up to 50% of their herd, sometimes more. They did so at a time when market rates were not good. One rancher told me that there wasn't a blade of grass left on her place, and the grasshoppers were forced to eat the trees. So, not only were the farm fields and pastures we ventured through well watered, they were, when compared to previous seasons, understocked. You never know what you're going to get in the farming and ranching game. Just like hunting season, every season brings change. Here in Montana, just like in your state, we're seeing the turning over of ranches and farms, sometimes to new generations, sometimes to new ranchers, sometimes to recreational interests, and worst of all, to development. Can't grow a big old mule deer buck in a condo, can you? With this turnover, old discussions start popping up as to how to handle public access to public wildlife that spends its time on private ground. Again, the Montana Private Land Public Access Program, Block Management, has around 7 million acres currently enrolled. 7 million acres is a lot. If you were to line up 7 million acres end to end in one big long rectangle, it would take you roughly 136,000 hours to walk just one side of that rectangle. So that's just a third of the amount of time you could spend. Right? 1, 2, 3. Something like that on Montana's block management. And guess what? Here's the best part. Best for last, just for you. Almost every single state has a program just like this, a total of roughly 29 million acres, a number we can expand on, and a number we can detract from. I hope everybody has an amazing start of their hunting season. I hope you keep some of these little anecdotes in mind. And most of all, I hope you remember to say thank you for the access. It means a lot to us. Be friendly, be respectful, pick up your trash, and above all, be safe. Thanks again. I'll talk to you next week. And if you do get stuck at home, swing by your local friendly neighborhood steel dealer. They'll get you set up with what you need, and they won't try to send you home with what you don't. Thanks again. I'll talk to you next week. And don't forget to write in to ASKCAL, that's Ask Cal, at themeateater.com.
I'm sure a lot of you guys remember the old ceremonial hunting tradition of eating the heart out of the first animal you kill. Meat from those organs are among the most nutrient-rich foods on the planet. You can get those same benefits your ancestors craved via convenient daily capsules from Heart and Soil. Find out more at heartandsoil.co. And remember, use code MeatEater for 10% off your purchase.
Hey, I just sat down with the owners and operators of Maui Nui Venison. They're on a mission to balance axis deer populations on Maui while giving back to the community and run a totally sustainable operation. For folks like me who want to get your own meat but aren't always successful, you can become a snack subscriber, get some axis deer sticks sent right to your door. Visit MauiNuiVenison.com. That's MAUINUI venison.com and use promo code CAL for 20% off your first order.